Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course. Brandon Wenzel, coming back at you. Another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler video series of videos I've been doing for a little while now. I go over there to try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about the stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. This is rather snazzy. Like, this thing I'm about to review, this needs to be good. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there, I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. Whilst I'm doing all that, folks, ha ha ha, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for today, though? Happens to be my Butcher Babies shirt. Yeah! If you're unfamiliar with the band Butcher Babies, they are a metal band that's been around for quite a while now. I think at least like maybe 15 or so years, maybe even longer. I got into their stuff kind of early on, but I didn't really like jump in all the way. I just was sort of aware of them, and I knew that I liked a couple of their songs. Thankfully, many years later, a few years ago, in fact, they were on tour with what was it? With Mudvayne and Cold Chamber and Nonpoint and Guar and I think one other band, but I can't think of the name. But anyway, they were really cool. And then I was really fortunate not too long ago, I got to see them in a more intimate setting, and it was even more awesome. I have videos of their performances that I've attended. Those videos are on my channel in case maybe you want to check them out. If nothing else, I'd be more than happy to kind of point you in the right direction as far as their music goes, because I think they're a really badass band. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Why do I think this is going to be snazzy? Well, folks, that's because it comes from... Oh, no. Boom! It comes from Brazil, and it's boom! It's Snickers, specifically Sabor Mousse de Maracuja. I apologize for mispronunciations. I had to look up what Maracuja was. It's passion fruit. This is a passion fruit Snickers from Brazil. Yeah, there's a mall kind of by me. It's a little bit of a trek, but there's a mall kind of around where I'm at, and they have like a cool little import store, it turns out. And so I was out hanging with a friend yesterday. We found said store, and I spent way too much money. I love import stores, but man, you are paying for that. You are paying for that. I think this was like about like $5 for like a single candy bar. Oh. But hopefully it's amazing and good. So let's get a thing for the thing here. Looks like something like that. We'll go. Ha 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 ha. Let's try it out. And they also had some of the other ones, like the pistachio one. They had like the strawberry cream one. And I've reviewed those. They're on the channel if you want to watch those reviews. It's such a small thing, too. I paid way too much money for it. Smells chocolatey. Okay, there we go. It takes a little bit for the passion fruit aspect to kick in. That's interesting. So, it's an interesting combination because you've got a mix of, in a Snickers already, you've got a mix of like different types of sweetness between the chocolate, the nougat, the caramel. You also have, kind of earthiness and saltiness through the peanuts. So you've already got a lot going on in Snickers. One of the reasons why it's such a successful brand. It's, brings a lot to the table. Then on top of that now, you're adding a fruit element. So, and on top of that, it's passion fruit, which is not a fruit that I typically associate with chocolate. And maybe that's just, here in the United States, right? I'm not by any means a passion fruit expert. But it's interesting the way that they added it into the flavor, because it could have very easily well, maybe not overtaken, but I think it could have been a bit much. And I think part of me was craving for more of the passion fruit flavor because it's there. It is noticeable for sure. You're not going to miss it. But I was expecting, a little bit punchier, especially with being, passion fruit. So I was kind of like, okay, let's get to that punchiness. It never really gets there. It's more of an ambient kind of flavor. Like, it's there throughout the entire experience. And, it never reaches like a truly strong crescendo, but it does add in sort of a nice extra, dimension to the whole thing. And because they didn't go overly punchy with it, it's not only not taking over the entire thing, which would, diminish the impact of the Snickers, but it makes it so that it's not like, it's such a weird combination. If you went too far with it, it would be really easy for it to become like abrasive to the experience. But that's not what happened here. It's a nice accent to the Snickers. It's just kind of, again, it's a light thing that's just throughout the flavor aspect of it. I would say if I was going to do percentage-wise, it's probably like 85, maybe even 90, 85% just Snickers, but then it has that like 10 to 15% sort of overlap with the passion fruit, where again, it's just giving it a little extra dimension, a little something, but it's not being intrusive. It's not. I like that. I like the way they did that, even though it's very different from what I had in my head. Okay. Well, 3 questions have to be asked in this instance. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Do I think they should bring this flavor here to America? Well, North America, the USA. Yes, and I would love it, but I don't know if it would take off over here. For me personally, even though, again, it was definitely a different experience than what I was expecting, the way that they actually made it work, I think, made it even better than what was in my head. I would have been perfectly down if it had just been a weird passion fruit candy bar. And, I think I could have got behind that regardless. But the fact that they went over there and still allowed the Snickers to be at the forefront, and then, just taking that sort of passion fruit essence to it, I think that worked out really nice, because it kept it as something true not only to its roots, but to the flavors you expect from a Snickers, but just went over there and gave it, again, a little something extra to make it a little bit more interesting. That's why if I'm recommending it, and, because the other question has to be asked, would I go over there and pay as much as I did for it again? If I'm recommending it, this is one of those things where, as a fun novelty treat, absolutely. Like, I don't know exactly, like, again, I think it was about like $5 or something like that. It wasn't cheap, and it's a relatively small candy bar. So it's not something I'm going to go over there and say, hey, you got to go out. But if you have an import store or something like that, if it seems a little bit kitschy and fun, it is a little bit kitschy and fun. But just please keep in mind, if you're expecting a really punchy passion fruit flavor, you're not going to get that. It is still, again, mostly Snickers flavor. So that could potentially put you off. Now, if you're obviously from Brazil or that part of the world, I mean, hey, good on you. You have a great Snickers. And like I said, it is something where, like, I think it would be cool if it came over here, even in a limited capacity. I don't think it would be on store shelves as, like, a mainstay, but that's tasty, man, and I dig it. So, Brazil, good on you. I think you came up with a cool Snickers, so, yeah. 5 things for you to get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks over there have themselves a truly passion fruit-tastic rest of your life, because, folks, when it's passion, it's all about the passion. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. you're going to try not to be an asshole. Now, folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. When we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there, whenever possible, take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, if you have, I don't know if my user base extends to Brazil, but if you've ever had this particular brand of Snickers, regardless of where you might be in the world, let me know your take on it. You know, because, like, I really dig this. I think it's cool, but then I'm sort of two minds. Like, I really enjoyed the final product, but then there is that part of me that still wanted it to be, again, punchier with the flavor. So, and again, if you are from Brazil or something like that, how's it doing over there? Is it a popular thing? Is it just,